New York, difficult to think out of the box because everyone is so programmed. They are so into what everyone.
Good evening, everyone. Today is October the 10th. We are reading Robert Greene's The Daily Laws. And I stitched that man speaking of thinking outside of the box. He's talking about New York, and as different and cultured as everyone tries to pretend to be in the city, it's weird because they do what they do and they try to be so different actually because they want people to notice them and validate them. So that's not really thinking outside of the box. Even though it's about style, they're basing everything on what everyone else thinks of them. So think for yourself is the title for today's reading. We human beings tend to be incredibly conventional animals. We get ideas from our parents, from our schooling, from the people around us, and that becomes how we think about everything in the world. We stop thinking for ourselves, and with social media, this has become much worse. We're afraid to think for ourselves. The classic example of this cowardice in thinking comes from academics. The people who are supposed to be the most brilliant thinkers of all, many of whom have been largely indoctrinated in a particular way of looking at the world filled with jargon and orthodoxies. They can never get outside of it. Everything they write, everything they see, everything they think about is in that little bubble that they have been inculcated with in their academic training. You need to be fearless. You need to be able to get rid of everything you ever believed in before. You need to get rid of all the strategies you used before, all the conventional ideas, commandment. You need to think for yourself and not be tied to what other people have told you is reality. Robert Greene Official, Irrationality 2020, YouTube, August 29th, 2020. So, I'm a big out of the box thinker. Like, if somebody tells me, especially that, this is the way to do things, I try to think of a better way. I try to come up with an idea that's original. You know, I hate when everybody conforms to, oh, this is the way to do it because this is how it's always been done. Um, and one of my sayings that is kind of my little thing, when I drove Uber, I used to tell people this, and I would use this little model. One time, somebody thought, I want to talk to somebody that's not here. And that person, in essence, came up with the telephone. First, it was the string with a can or glass through the wall. However, they thought of a way, just thinking outside of the box. How do I talk to somebody that's not here? You can come up with so many ideas when you sit back and just meditate, think. And one person can do this. One person can change everything. And this is something that I kind of took it from a Nas song, but I made it my own. He says the song. It's he says it how he says it. I say if you change anything, you change everything. But in the song, it's from the same album. I think it's Nasir. But I think it's one of the last songs on the album. He says a spin-off of that, but it's my own spin that I put on it. If you change anything, you change everything. And one person has the power to do that. Sometimes we can inspire people by our out of the box thinking or our big thinking. Like, thinking big, bigger than the way that normal people think. You can inspire people. So that's part of my purpose for why I'm here. I know I inspire people because I've been doing it for a long time, and it's one of my superpowers. So if you change anything, you change everything. Think outside of the box. Think for yourself. If you got this book, read today's October the 10th reading. And join me tomorrow. We'll do it again.